we're live.
Hey, are you sure about that?
We'll figure it out here in a minute.
See what people have to say. Oh yeah, I've seen live.
Okay,
I just got a notification.
Okay.
Just got a notification.
Yep, we're live.
Yay!
Hi everybody, welcome to our live stream today. We're a few minutes late because Scout is crazy.
Yeah, I sabotaged it.
There was a little complication and, negotiating the contract. She wanted more money and, just went back and forth.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Howdy, Toki and G-Bone. Scout, do you have it going so you can see any comments or anything?
I don't know. Maybe I can I can you still see me if I do this? People still see me?
I still see you, yeah.
Am I sideways or am I still normal?
Nope, you're normal.
Okay. I'll just hop on the live so I can see what's going on. It's sideways for me right now. Oh, there I am. Okay. Well.
Oh, now you're sideways. Oh, now you're back.
Goodbye. Okay. Hey everyone. I know you all like me on the journey, so I'm glad you came to see me.
Yep, everybody came for Scout.
Does that mean I can still moderate the chat while I'm on the way? That's funny.
Apparently,
oh, Chris in real life. Hey, I know you.
Somebody said
there's got my email.
Somebody said there's an echo on your end.
Dang. Maybe I'll just stay through then, because I don't want to echo on people.
You have like a second thing that you could like read off of a phone or?
Yes. That's smart actually. So smart, Tony.
I know. Did anybody else have any issues hearing us?
That was my bad. I didn't think about that. This is at 16%. It'll be fine. I'm experienced. Sorry everyone for the technical difficulties. But you know me, that happens in all my videos. Something goes wrong.
So, can everybody hear us fine though? Can you hear me? Can you hear her?
Let's hope. Just that was great. Okay. Alright, I'm joining right now. Just to see what's going on. Oh.
There's also like a delay too, so. Alright, sounds like everybody can hear us. Hello, Susan.
Man, I don't see an option for comments though. That's annoying. Okay.
Hello, Chris in real life. Nightlight. There's a second Nightlight. Oh no, there's one too many of you guys.
I'm in. I'm watching myself.
Cheryl, Sam. Welcome. Alright, so today we're talking about, do fat bodies need to be liberated? So it's an interesting conversation we're going to have with my friend Scout here. But first I just want her to kind of introduce herself, talk about her journey, where she came from, and all that stuff. So take it away, Scout.
Alright, well, I'm Scout. My channel's Nightlight. If you guys haven't been over there, you should go check it out and subscribe immediately. I've kind of just like overweight all my life. I never really thought of myself as fat. I'm just like a bigger person. Like, I was kind of in denial a lot of the time. It didn't really get, like, super unhealthy. Like, I never got that disease. Like, it wasn't a detriment to my health, but it was uncomfortable, and I was very insecure. And, yeah, so about August last year, I started going to the gym, and I was with a personal trainer, and I was wanting to lose weight, but I didn't realize that like 95% of that was nutrition. So like I would just go and work out and for like an hour really hard, and then come back and I'd still be like the same weight or heavier because muscle mass increases you gain weight. So I talked to a nutritionist and I started a calorie deficit, and I lost up to 30 pounds to this day. Still, still working on it, but I've definitely shrunk it. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's great. What were some of the consequences that you were facing, even though you were only like, what, 30, 40 pounds overweight? What were some of the consequences you were starting to feel, even at a very young age? You're still 17, right?
Yeah, yeah. Um, so the consequences, I've never been in a relationship, like I've never dated, which is funny because the guys who would show interest in me, like I was 179 at my highest weight, 179 pounds. I don't know what conversion that is for like kilo or whatever. So, um, so I was never like, I don't think that's obese, but I think I'm pretty short. I'm 5'3", so maybe that wasn't considered obese.
Yeah, that's pretty short.
Yeah, it's pretty short, kind of heavy weak, but I looked like fine in my eyes. Like I didn't feel like I was that much bigger than I needed to be. But yeah, so I never had any really health consequences. My knees would hurt a lot, but I was always really active. Like I used to row, like in a boat with a team, and I've played a lot of sports before, so it didn't really have me back for like doing anything physically, but mentally I was very insecure, and yeah, I just like never had a relationship.
Yeah, when you're a teenager, that kind of sucks, especially the insecurity part and thinking that you like look worse than everybody and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So you didn't have very many physical consequences, and same with me when I was a teenager. I was always pretty big, and I was able to be active and played football and stuff like that. I didn't have too many problems until I like tore a ligament in my knee. That was pretty bad. But were you facing like any kind of like depression or anything else like that?
I was never diagnosed. I I was actually pretty confident, like most of the time. Like I didn't really get that hard on myself because I'm like, oh, this is just how I'm supposed to be. And I think my breaking point is kind of, I wouldn't say it's dumb, but it wasn't what I was expecting it to be. So there was, it's gonna sound totally like teenager high school drama or whatever, but there was this guy that I was interested in, and I'd been friends with him for years. And I was like, I'm gonna go for it. And my, at that time, best friend was like, oh, like supporting me, like, you should do it, you should do it. And then so I did. And of course, I got rejected. She was nice about it, but the next week, my best friend and him went to homecoming together. So I was like, that's weird. And she like didn't tell me about it at all. Like I knew they were part of the same group, but I was like, I didn't think that was an issue because I trusted her and I didn't think anything of it. But I would see it like in the hallways, and it turned out she was just flirting with him behind my back, and they're still dating now. And I'm over that. It was never about him, like the guy. Like I got over that, but it was just about like the betrayal. I'm like, and then I realized like all these red flags. And I'm pretty sure she was just like having me around to feel better about herself.
Mm. So you were like the duff of your group, I guess, maybe?
Yeah, yeah. I always thought of myself as like the fat friend. So
Like, I'm gonna get back at you guys. My OBS disconnected. Hang on. Oh, it reconnected. Hopefully we're still on.
people still see us. I don't know.
I think we're back on now, guys. Okay.
Sorry, that was all for me.
Yeah, it was my OBS software. It just disconnected and reconnected. So hopefully we're back on fine and there's no issues. So what we're talking about today is fat liberation, the fat positivity movement, and everything else like that. And it's one thing to be a part of this movement, but we're starting to see that there's actually people trying to legislate fat positivity, and they actually want to make it illegal to, I don't want to say discriminate, because I don't even think that's the right word. Um, I guess we'll just get right into it. I just want to share my screen for a moment here.
Don't break it.
Yeah.
I'm worried. Okay.
I don't know if.
There we get. People good. Can you still see me?
Yeah, that's what matters, Cal. People can see.
As long as I can hear you. That's all I care about.
Looks like it's a black screen, so I don't think people can see it. 1 second.
Soon. Don't fail us now. This is so important. People's lives depend on this.
Alright, I think I got it.
Alright, people. Consensus? See? You good?
Yep, I'm just waiting to see if it pops up on the screen here. Yep, okay.
Okay.
Popped up.
Perfect.
Sorry about any technical difficulties, guys. I'm not very good at tech stuff, so we're figuring this out as we go. So this is from the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance. Yes, there is such a group. And what they're talking about here is fat politics in action. Pending legislation seeks to protect against weight bias. So they have this little graphic here. It says right to employment, right to education, right to health, which is an oxymoron if you ask me. Right to political and public participation, right to leisure, recreation, sports.
Can I add something real fast?
Yeah.
Just while we're talking about this right now, those are all rights people already have, or like things that are protected. It's not like they're being taken away from them, like legally. Like, I think that's kind of funny that they're like almost like they're fighting for this, even though they already have it. The only thing that's taken away from like what they're saying is like their weight and like their health.
Yeah.
So the only person who's taking it away from them is themselves. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I mean that's 100% true. There already is a discrimination law against when it comes to employment. You have a right to go to college even if you're big. I remember when I was at my biggest and I was going to college, they provided for me. They put out like a bigger desk and everything else for me.
Yeah, about that, there have been a lot of people in the movement who've been complaining, like, especially like Watchmaker. I've seen some stuff about her. She has like been in college recently, and she talks about how the chairs are fatphobic and how she's like the only one in her class who can't fit, and like friends in other colleges have the same problem. And it's like, well, that just kind of sounds like a big problem if everyone else can fit.
Yeah.
Like, how big do you have to be to size out of a desk? I mean, I know they kind of are pretty tight, but an average sized person can fit, so.
Yeah, I mean, like they could put tables out like they did for me. Like most of the college, I lived in Bend, Oregon at the time, and I was going to Central Oregon Community College, and they provided like a table and a chair. I didn't have to fit into a desk, you know. All you got to do is go and talk to somebody in the administration, and you know they'll provide for you. They have to legally. You're already legally protected. They cannot discriminate against you.
Yeah, solve your problem instead of finding on the internet. You can literally solve your problem,
right?
Without having, without getting other people mad about it. Like.
Yeah, right to health is the next one. I mean, you are afforded the same medical treatment as everybody else.
I do know that some healthcare can, like life insurance, if you're like morbidly obese, they can like not help you out, right? Like they don't have to invest in you.
I guess it depends on what insurance you have, but that's really any type of insurance with any type of. I mean, our insurance thing here in America is bad, anyways.
Yeah, I was just talking about like something that specifically affects like your health or like involves your health, because that kind of ties into their own health.
I don't know if they can deny you insurance. Maybe they can, because I guess they have a right to say no, we can't cover you, because they think you're going to die. They think you're going to have so many diseases and issues in your life. So you're probably going to require you, if they do accept you, to pay higher premiums or pay a higher monthly amount of money just to because you are going to require more treatment. And they kind of do the same thing for a lot of different people who are, I guess you can say, disabled, who are going to need a lot of treatment. Like, I think an insurance company should have a right to say, well, you're going to cost us more money, so we're going to charge you more money.
Yeah.
But when it comes to healthcare, like, I've always been taken well care of. Like, I've never not been able to see my doctor when I wanted to. I've never not received medications that I needed, with exception of my knee surgery. And I've already explained this on my videos that my doctor knows that there's absolutely nothing that they can do about my knees because I'm still big. And so I would still re-injure them right away as soon as I tried walking on them. And the recovery process is long and everything else. So even getting an MRI, I wouldn't be able to fit. But that's my fault. Like I explained in a different video that even after losing 175 pounds, I had an appointment with my doctor and I said, okay, my knees are still killing me. Can I go get an MRI? And she goes, no, you're still too big. And there's only like a couple.
MRIs.
Yeah, there are only a couple open MRIs in the whole state. So that's not the fault of the medical community. That's my fault for getting too big to fit in an MRI machine.
About that, I think it was Fat Staffing Bro like talked about this, like MRIs not being able to fit people, and they were like, just make them bigger so they can fit us. That's not how it works.
Get smaller so you can fit in them. How about that?
Yeah, like it's not like we can just magically make science like nice to fat people. Because then when you do that for people with like diseases like cancer or diabetes, like oh it's fine.
Yeah.
There's always a bright side. Like no, that's sorry your feelings are hurt, but that's not how it works.
Hey, Patriots and Madam Badu, I think that's how you say your name. When I couldn't go on a carnival ride because my arse was too big, it was a wake-up call. I needed to slim down. Yeah, I mean, if you can't fit in a freaking carnival ride, they're going to say no.
And people call that a right too. They're like, we have the right to be on this ride. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, well you're endangering yourself and other people potentially.
Yeah, if they can't
So
put,
are they gonna be worth it?
I mean, if they can't put the bars all the way down, if they can't put a seatbelt on you or whatever, it's like you're still going to demand to ride that? Or are they going to have to redesign the entire carnival ride just to fit bigger people?
Actually, there is this story I have. It's really short. I went to SeaWorld and they have this ride that goes like upside down and stuff. It's like 30 seconds long, and I love going on rides like that. It's like a roller coaster, and the straps were so big. Like when we went upside down, I like literally almost slipped down, and I was. Now that I think about it, I think they were being skinny quick. Those chairs were meant for fat people. So I was discriminated against because I was too small to fit on the ride.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't fly out. That would have been sad.
I know, that was so terrifying. My life like flashed before my eyes. So, anyways.
Hello, J and B. Glad you made it too. And Violet, Ace Evans. Good to see you guys. Everybody in the chat, go ahead and if you have any questions for me or Scout or any comments about this topic, go ahead and ask. That's perfectly fine. We'll get to you. And there is a delay on there.
I'm gonna check out the chat, so I'm just gonna be quiet for a second.
All right. I'm just looking at them too. All right. Fat people do not get their rights stripped from them. That's 100% true. So right to health, just kind of going back to that topic, I cannot understand why some people say there's medical bias, because if you go in complaining of this or that, then they say, well, just lose some weight. And I'd say about 95% of that is legitimate. Like your weight is causing most of your problems, most of your health issues, most of your pain. Um, but there is a story that I heard that somebody was going in complaining of a problem, and their doctor just said lose weight, but the weight wasn't the cause of that issue, and they could have died if they didn't get a second opinion and their doctor figured it out. So I don't think doctors should just automatically say we'll lose some weight. I think they should test, that they should take a look at it to the capacity that they can. If they can't fit in an MRI machine, then there's a problem. Then you literally are too big to be treated. You are too big to get diagnosed. I mean, that's a problem.
But like, I don't hear about that happening a whole lot unless I go like on TikTok, the browser version, because you know how I feel about TikTok.
Yeah.
And I'll check out like just some influencers to like keep up with what insanity they're talking about these days, and they'll all say that they've been like discriminated by against like with doctors or something, and like lose weight. Oh, that wasn't the problem, blah blah blah. Like I can't tell if that's a niche problem just because I only hear about it on TikTok. I'm sure it's not like a niche problem, but I don't know. I would still just trust my doctor. Doctors can be wrong, but that doesn't always mean they're a bad doctor or a mean doctor, because there's only so much like science can do. I don't know what I'm like trying to say, but people make mistakes, and I know that's not really a good thing because that could be your life. But I don't know what to say about that. If they're just assuming that your weight is causing the problem, they don't take it seriously. I think that's different. But if they do actually think if you lose weight, it might be easier to find the problem, or if the weight, or like discovering if the weight actually was the problem, I think that's different.
So I just got a notice from Zoom that we got 10 minutes left. What?
10 minutes left until what?
So they shut us down. I guess we have a 40-minute limit or something.
What?
I guess.
Wait, I didn't get one.
Well, you're not using, it's not your account, so I just got that notice.
Um,
So don't worry,
well, maybe
guys.
just like,
We will figure this out at some point and do it so there's no limit. But I guess we can just get through it here. Right to political and public. Sorry, there's something over that. Right to political and public participation. All right, I don't think there's anybody keeping you from being involved in politics or public participation.
yeah, I was about to say, what does that even mean? Like, are you saying you can't vote or something?
Maybe it's
Because you're fat? Fatness doesn't even prevent you from doing that. Your health doesn't prevent you from doing that.
well. To
So,
my
I don't know what
defense,
that means.
a few years ago during an election, I decided to stay home because I couldn't stand in line the entire time.
Yeah, but no
So
one's telling you you can't. That's the thing. It's like they're saying people are telling them they can't, but that's just
yeah, they see any obstacles they have in their life towards doing normal things as problems that we need to solve, instead of them
exactly.
solving it themselves. So yeah, I understand that. Okay, if you're overweight, you're not going to be able to stand in line for an hour waiting to go vote. But that's not our problem. That's not something we need to fix. That's something you need to fix.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the weirdest one, I think, is right to leisure, recreation, and sport.
Well, why would they even want that? I thought the whole point was to stay fat and be proud of that. Like, I know fat people work out, but it's not really working out. Walking on the treadmill. Hey, don't ever underestimate the power of walking, but that's not going to make you healthy either.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need any kind of help to get some weights and lift some weights at your house, or to go for a walk, or
Yeah.
to do chair exercises, or anything else like that. You don't need recreation. Like, what in the world are you talking about? Like, do you need us to bring the beach to you because you can't walk out to the beach? I mean,
Yeah, I don't understand. These are pretty broad statements too. Like, and also people like fat people fear going to the gym because they're like, oh, it's toxic, people are gonna judge me, make fun of me. They're like the nicest people. Like they will help you out. Like people like are happy that to see you there.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. Like they're normal people. Sure, there's always jerks out there who like might say something behind your back, but like who cares? This is for you. Like most of the people there are like happy to help you out, and you don't have to feel embarrassed about anything.
Yep. So just to kind of get into the article here a little bit, it says we have 6 minutes, but we still got 30 minutes before Scout has to go. So if it shuts us off, just kind of wait, and maybe we'll pop back on. We'll pop back on here. We talked for like 10 minutes before we went live, so that took some of the time too.
I hated every minute of it.
You know you loved every second. All right, a recent article in the national business publication Bloomberg, and I have that article here as well, which is entitled, "Yes, you can still be fired for being fat," has brought the issue of fat bias in the workplace back into focus and generated a national conversation. So I guess there's a co-sponsor of the current Massachusetts legislation to end size discrimination, Senator Rebecca Roche, explained, "Fatness for so long was seen as a personal failure and only as a personal failure, which is why I think it is a legal form of discrimination," she says. "The existence of this law as enacted will help to further break down stigma."
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me just say this. Like, usually discrimination falls under, like, you might discriminate against, like, someone's race, like their ethnicity, or if you're handicapped, you know? Like, being ableist. So, would people consider it, like, a personal failure for someone to be disabled? Would someone consider it a personal failure for someone to be Asian? Or black? Like,
Yeah,
I don't...
that's a really good point. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, the race part, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand how obesity can lead to disabling behavior because you get to a point where you can't move around. But unless you're in that small minority of people who are overweight, slightly overweight due to an illness or something else like that, I don't believe you can be 200, 300, 400, 500 pounds overweight because you had some kind of slow metabolism or something.
That's also the thing. It's like every single influencer will say, well, you don't know if I have a disease or a genetic something or other that made me this way. It's like, well, if everyone else is saying it, there's no way everyone has it. It's like 0.005% of the population maybe. So not every single fat TikToker has it.
Yeah.
Like, stupid.
The culture shifts. The culture shifts around acceptance of fat and questioning the diet industry and the pervasiveness of diet culture. Some of those things have empowered more fat people individually to think about, oh, when my rights are being violated, this is not my fault.
What rights? What rights? What world are we living in right now? Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't get it. Yeah, Tell me what rights.
You literally have every right that every other person has.
Yeah, it's like the same thing.
But because of what you've done to yourself, you've made it more difficult to live. So now it's up to everybody else to figure out ways of including you.
Yeah, like, I guess me personally, I sometimes question like what feminists are fighting for because they have all the same rights as men, and I know maybe it's not always the rights that they're fighting for. It can be like stigmas, like whole like pickup scene or like alpha male stigma, whatever you want to call it, can be pretty sexist. Like they talk about women like they're pieces of meat or something, but not every person is like that, and I feel like I've never met someone who was like that. Like, I've never felt like I've been, like, talked down to because of my gender. Like, I don't know. I've never experienced that before. I know it's real, but I just don't think it's real enough for, like, feminists to still be screaming about it. This is totally off topic, so.
I mean, you're not going to change everybody's minds about certain things.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why some people just like need to find a boogeyman and just need to scream at the sky about it. And yeah, there are definitely times where there's racism. There's definitely times where someone is being sexist. There's definitely those experiences, but it's not an everyday thing that people face constantly every moment of their lives.
Exactly.
That they need to identify themselves by joining one of these groups, like being fat positive.
Yeah.
Like,
because then you make it your personality.
Yeah. 95% of the difficulties you're facing due to your obesity is your fault.
Yeah. And I used to actually, my parents were like pretty active, though they still are very active people, and I used to kind of think like, oh, it's their fault because they never like helped me out because they wouldn't like help me eat healthy, and it's like, yes, they did. I just didn't listen. And then like trying to get me to work out, and I'd like be down the stairs like walking on the treadmill and like skate to for like 10 minutes and then be done. And now I can run a 10-minute mile like easy. So.
All right. It says we have less than a minute left, so I'm gonna shut this off, and then I'm gonna try to bring Scout back. I'm gonna stay connected, so I'm not gonna like shut down the chat here, but we're gonna lose Scout happily for a few minutes, so we can have some peace and quiet. All right, you guys are still here. All right, guys, hang on a second. We are trying to get her back up. All right, Scout, a new email has been sent to you. We'll get her back in here.
My bad. Sorry, I was just trying to put it back.
It was peace and quiet in here. It was nice.
Okay, where were we?
I don't even remember.
Dead on the fort and dropping my phone. Sorry for this, guys. I'm trying here. What happened? Jeez. Sorry, I'm like a mess. Okay. Sorry. Here's my go with you guys.
Scout's got 20 minutes left anyway, so we'll just continue talking about this.
Yeah.
Just let me know if you guys can still hear me, if everything's good.
Also, I wanted to add, because I was reading some of the chat stuff while I was reading, because some of the things that we were talking about were like kind of smaller problems, doesn't mean like anything you've ever experienced with those problems is like invalidated. Like I would never say like if someone's being sexist to you, like, oh, get over it. Like that's not a huge problem, so it doesn't matter. Like no, it's a problem.
Yeah.
even no matter how big or small it is, and it's a real problem, unlike flat discrimination. So, yeah, I'm sorry if that came across like we were validating your experiences. We were definitely not trying to do that. So, yeah, it's definitely valid. It's just not. I'm trying to compare it to like problems that are even smaller, like not even like non-existent, like fat acceptance. Like, sorry.
Yeah, that's definitely true. We understand there are incidences of racism and sexism and stuff like that. Um, but our main point here is, you can't choose being a man or a woman. You can't choose the color of your skin. If you're born
Oh,
with it,
careful. Some people think you can choose being a man or a woman, so
you,
be careful there.
if you were born with a disability or you got into an accident or something like that, you have no control over that. But obesity is something that you can change, and I think it's just interesting that so many people demand that we give in to them. That we have to change all of society. We have to give them a second seat on an airplane. We have to do all sorts of things to accommodate them versus them saying, oh, I can just lose weight and figure this out, and I don't have to need somebody to push me across an airport. I don't need somebody to give me their second seat and cost us business money, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So this article here from Bloomberg, yes, you can still be fired for being fat. Weight-based discrimination costs some Americans their jobs. Bills in New York and Massachusetts could expand protections to tens of millions of people.
Where's the like evidence that this happened though? Because it hasn't even like mentioned how they were discriminated or how they were fired for being fat, like the reason. It just says it happened.
I mean, I've heard of a few instances where somebody was fired because they got too big to do the job.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like that's still their fault.
I mean,
Like, dude, you still had the job when you were smaller. Just you should have stayed a healthy size.
yeah, I mean, I've talked about it before where I tried to get a job, and the person that I was hiring in with, like, I was doing the interview, and I said, hey, I can do the job. I can do it. I know I'm big, but I can handle it. So he made me follow him around the store. He said, follow me, and so we just walked one lap around the store, and we got to an end, and I was just totally out of breath.
Yeah,
And that was like that was like a 10-minute walk, and but would I be able to do an 8-hour shift doing that? Heck no, and pushing and pulling and stocking things and like no, I wouldn't be able to. I mean, if I can't handle the job, they're not discriminating against me. Why would they pay me to do a job that I can't do?
yeah, exactly. And my own experience with that, I used to be a lifeguard. So, and to be a lifeguard, you have to go through a lot of training. It's like 22 hours or something. So it's like a 4-hour course, like for like a week, something like that. But or it's probably higher hours. I'm not sure. It's brutal, but a lot of the training is really, really physical. Like, sorry, I live with a family, and that tends to happen. So, yeah, one of the tests was I had to swim all the way down like a 25-meter or 25-foot, whatever, normal sized swimming lane, and dive like 10 or 15 feet down, grab a brick from the bottom of the pool, and swim all the way back. Like, these are very, very physical challenges, and to be a lifeguard, you have to be, like, able to do that, and be, like, fit enough to do that. And this was when I was my heaviest weight anyways, but I'm a really good swimmer, so I was, like, top of the class. Like, I did that thing in less than a minute, but my point is, someone who's, like, morbidly obese, they would probably see that training and call it phobic because they can't do it. But it's like, these are people's lives in your hands, and you're saying, I should hire you even though you're not capable of doing the job that could cost someone's life.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be you're risking somebody else's life. Like, if you can't do that job, you shouldn't be hired to do that job. It's plain and simple. G-Bone here made a comment. It's embarrassing when sitting in a car with others. When they say you can sit in the front, deep down it hurts when you know why.
Yeah, sitting down still for me, because like everybody like bends and rolls themselves and whatever when they sit down. It's just a natural thing your body does. But sitting down is a bit insecure for me because like your girl ain't that skinny yet. But like I've got some got a little room there when I sit down, so sometimes it can be a bit I don't know insecure for me. So like sitting around like other friends, especially at my height, was kind of can be embarrassing, but I try not to show it.
So to get into this article, it says people who are fat face bias in every corner of life. They're more likely to be bullied in school, stigmatized by doctors, and convicted of crimes by juries.
What? Whoa, wait. Hold on. That last one, I have never ever heard of someone being convicted because of their weight. Like, I want to look at someone who's overweight and think, yeah, they're guilty. Yeah. I know that can happen with, like, race stuff. Like a white man versus a black man on trial. The white guy might get off scot-free. The black guy might get, like, 50 years in prison for, like, shoplifting. Like, that happens. But I've never heard of a fat person being, like, stigmatized by the jury and just automatically sent to prison. That's funny to me.
Oh, it gets worse. Survey respondents rate people who look overweight as lazier, weaker-willed, and less likely to win on Jeopardy.
What?
Yeah, that's a real problem that fat people are facing. They're less likely to win on Jeopardy because people think so.
Like, who wrote this article? I'm so... What?
That's a major discrimination right there.
Do you know how many times I think about the laundry every single day? None.
But when it comes to people thinking that obese people are lazier and weaker-willed, like, isn't that obvious that if you are a certain size, you move less and you have more issues with eating, so you have less of a willpower to stop yourself from doing that?
Yeah, you don't become morbidly obese overnight. Like,
yeah.
That is years and years of doing nothing but eating. So,
I mean,
it doesn't matter what the cause was. That's the truth.
Yeah. When the humiliations extend to the workplace, the cost can be all the more easily measured in dollars and cents. People who are overweight are hired less, promoted less, and paid less. Well, I just explained why that's true. I mean, if I'm too big to get the job in the first place, but even then, if I did get the job, I do not work as hard because I cannot physically handle the demands of the job. I'm already under stress, mentally and physically, due to my weight. I'm not going to be considered for a job when somebody more fit can do that job. I'm less likely to be promoted, and I'll probably be paid less because I'm not able to do more. I mean, those are real-life consequences of obesity, but they're considering it discrimination.
Yeah, and it's like the wage gap with feminists. It's like the wage gap's like 75 cents between men and women or something like in the U.S. But if that's today, I'm pretty sure that's mostly due because to the fact that more men work than women do, and they work higher paying jobs than women do. And do you see what I mean? Like it kind of adds up. Like it's not that women are paid less than men, and maybe in some cases that's true, but men are working in higher paid jobs, and there are more men working those jobs. And I heard from my mom today. I know it's a credible source, right? But she was telling me like 60% of guys, or no, like guys, some percentage of guys will go and apply to a job that they're 60% like what's it called? What am I thinking of? The word it's like eligible for. I know that's not the right word.
Qualified for?
Qualified, yeah. Gosh. But then girls will only apply to jobs that they're 100% qualified for. Mm-hmm. So the gap is because there are more men working higher paying jobs.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of women leave their career to start a family. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So the fact that they don't get promoted as much or they make less money are for good reasons like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you and I went and applied for a job that paid $15 an hour, we're both going to get paid $15 an hour.
Exactly.
But if you got married and started a family and you spent less time at work or whatever, at the end of that time, I might have made more money than you.
Yeah, and it's not nothing against the woman.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you were discriminated against. You worked less.
Yeah, that's my choice.
Yeah.
And it's not a vacation, guys. Maternity leave is not a vacation.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. not that I would know. Just saying. As a woman, I've seen what it's like.
One study suggests that for every 6 pounds an average American woman gains, of course it's just talking about mostly women, because fat guys don't face this apparently.
Because guys get it. They know they're fat.
Yeah.
They don't sugarcoat it.
I mean, it's mostly women spearheading the fat positivity movement anyways. I don't think there are very many guys. I mean...
I think that's mostly due to the fact that women face a lot more, like, higher beauty standards.
Mm-hmm.
And they, like, their whole, like, existence is based around beauty and what others perceive them as. While guys, like, yeah, sure, like, you're supposed to look strong and tall and, like, muscular, but women, like, can't really change the way their face looks. They can't change their height. They can't change... The only thing they really can change is their weight, and maybe they get, like, a cosmetic surgery or something, but that costs thousands of dollars. Guys aren't getting cosmetic surgeries. Like, maybe, like, 0.1% of them are, but it's all women. Like, they're up against so much with the beauty standards, so I can see why it's mostly women who care about this movement.
So Tia Maria in the comments said, what you're saying about the reason for the pay gap between men and women simply is not true. All right,
Okay.
if I'm ignorant about that, Tia, you're welcome to send me some information. I'm willing to educate myself further on this topic. You know, it's just what I've seen, people offer a base rate of pay. I mean, it seems fairly simple to me why there's a pay gap, and it's not because women are automatically paid less than men. Like, usually if there's a salary role or even an hourly role, everybody's going to be paid based upon that role. Like I just said,
Exactly.
if Scout and I both applied for the same job and it offered $15 an hour, we're both getting paid $15 an hour. Like, it's not like they're going to pay her 14 suddenly. You know, it's...
Exactly, and it also depends on qualifications, too.
Yeah, qualifications.
Because, like I said before, those percentages, I'm not sure if those are entirely true, but guys will just work underqualified and probably work more hours, and then girls will, like, wait until they find a job or until they're completely qualified for a job. So, girls lose a lot of time, while guys have been, like, working, like, since they were 15, you know?
And there are... Yeah, that's true. You know, a lot of men start working, and women too do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And there's plenty of examples of women who make more than men do in certain careers and roles.
Yeah, but it's just a percentage. Like, even if it's like 51 to 49, men will probably get paid more because of those jobs. And it's nothing against women. It's just the facts. The cold hard facts.
But I can understand too that, you know, we probably haven't faced every situation. So if I'm ignorant about some of this, then send me some information. I'll gladly be educated. I'm not trying to say you're wrong, Tia, or anything. Maybe there's something that I don't know about. But let's get kind of back into this.
Yeah, let's go.
People signing paychecks subject heavier workers to a gauntlet of additional punishment, coercion, and harassment.
Well, actually, I've worked in, like, the restaurant industry. I worked at a fine dining restaurant, and usually it's like the skinnier girls who are getting harassed by drunk guys. So, should be rooting for those girls, honestly.
One of her past clients, we're talking about Claudia Center, from a legal director from the Disability Rights Education and Defense Fund. One of her past clients, a cable installer, got risky weight loss surgery after his company banned him from returning to work unless he lost about 100.
Hold on. Okay. About 5 minutes.
Got risky weight loss surgery after his company banned him from returning to work unless he lost about 100 pounds. His bosses thought he was too heavy to use their ladder and they wanted to keep the ladder. I mean,
That dang ladder.
I mean, if I would not get on a ladder because of my size. Like, if they think that you are too risky to climb the ladder and you should use 100 pounds to safely do your job, that is not discrimination.
They're like thinking about what's best for you.
We're almost done
It's not
here,
gonna be a lawsuit.
madam. We're almost done here. Scout's got to go. She's got plans tonight. So
I should probably wrap it up now, honestly.
yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, we'll probably end it right here, guys, and we'll definitely come back and continue this conversation another day. We're going to do more of these, definitely, in the future here. So, just kind of doing a stop share here. Now we're both on the screen. I look good.
I look better.
But, yeah, this was a good conversation. I'm glad that we were able to do this. And I'm trying to make this a weekly show, trying to have conversations with different people. So if you're interested in joining us or just having a one-on-one with me or even with Scout or whatever, we could definitely make that happen. Just send me an email, bigtbariatric@gmail.com. Thank you, Scout, for joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
All right, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. I love you guys. God bless you.